Thank you very much, Tom. David Hess is getting his first start of the 2019 season. Has he made any adjustments from last season entering this year?
Yeah, I think he has, and of course, you kind of self-evaluate a little bit after your first season. You know, he came up and kind of didn't go as well as he had liked the first half of the season for him, and then his next time up, he kind of ran with the ball, so to speak, a little bit more. And you know, just experience alone will kind of give you some ideas that, okay, this works, this doesn't, let's do what works a little bit more. And then I heard him talking just yesterday, and he was talking about looking at some video and how he kind of adjusted his hand. And he actually he kind of showed me where he kind of took his hand, and he said he got out here a little bit more, and kind of, as he finishes and follows through, he's just extending a little bit more, just understanding to make sure you concentrate on that a little bit more. The velocity kind of ticked up a little bit. Now, you don't necessarily know whether it was adrenaline, because a lot of these guys,
sure,
some of them did throw a little bit harder in that first series in New York. So maybe first time in New York for some of the guys. Hess in particular, maybe that first opening series and first time he made a major league club out of spring training, and maybe that first time he kind of was amped up a little bit. But he was throwing the ball mid-90s with a little cut at the end. He had a little bit of extra life. It was very impressive. So if he actually knows consciously that he made a little bit of adjustment, so far so good.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Now, we saw him in a relief role, and we saw him start a ton of games last season in Major League Baseball. He's taken on both of those roles. What's the difference in preparation for starting a game versus coming into relief?
It's different for everybody, and I think in David's situation, you know, it's one of those where you first come up to the big leagues, you want any role they'll give you. So if you're a starting pitcher in the minor leagues like David was, and you come to the big leagues and you start a game or two, then all of a sudden you're in maybe a long relief role, or maybe you're pitching the 6th or 7th inning, who knows. That warm-up situation is different. Sometimes adrenaline can get you through that a little bit as well. But I think in his case, I think he really understands now the separation between the two, whether it's more time or whether you kind of rapid fire a little bit. I know Mike Wright was actually talking yesterday about how the difference between getting ready that first time and then all of a sudden, I got to get ready. I can't afford to be coming into a game and not have my best stuff right now on that first pitch. And I think David Hess now, with the experience that he had last year, allows him, you know, to be, you know, different in those two capacities and understand what you need to do. But sometimes it's just mentally understanding that I have to be ready right now, because in a relief role, that first batter you face might hit a double, score 2 runs, and you lose the game. As a starter, you're hoping to be in there for 5, 6, 7 innings, and typically that first batter or two doesn't win or lose the game for you.
Yeah, well, David Hess has had success in Toronto. I know he's very much looking forward to pitching and starting today here in Rogers Center. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Back to you, Tom.